Ever wondered how the rules of war are enforced? What happens when those rules are broken in the most horrific way? Today, we're diving into a single, shocking event from World War II that forever changed how the world deals with war crimes. This isn't just a history lesson, it's the story of how our modern concept of international justice was born from tragedy. The year is 1944. The Battle of the Bulge is raging in the Ardennes forest. Near the small town of Mamodi, Belgium, a group of over 100 American soldiers surrenders to a German SS combat unit. What happened next was not an act of war, but cold-blooded murder. The unarmed American prisoners of war were herded into a field and massacred. This horrific event became known as the Mamodi Massacre. News of the massacre spread like wildfire. It wasn't the largest atrocity of the war, not by a long shot, but its brutal, clear-cut violation of the Geneva Conventions, which protect prisoners of war, sent shockwaves through the Allied command and the public. It was a stark reminder that the war was being fought against an ideology that held no regard for the established laws of armed conflict. The question wasn't just how to win the war, but how to hold individuals accountable for such crimes afterward. Before World War II, the concept of prosecuting soldiers for following orders, even if those orders were criminal, was a murky legal area. The idea of holding high-ranking leaders responsible for the actions of their subordinates was even more complicated. The Mamodi Massacre, along with the broader systematic horrors of the Holocaust and other atrocities, created an undeniable moral and legal imperative. The Allies knew that simply declaring victory wouldn't be enough. There had to be a reckoning. This led directly to the Nuremberg trials. For the first time in history, an international tribunal was established to prosecute the political, military, and economic leaders of a nation for waging an aggressive war and committing crimes against humanity. The Mamodi Massacre case itself was prosecuted at the Dachau trials, a related set of military tribunals. The commanders responsible were tried, and the defense of just following orders was famously rejected. This set a monumental precedent. The Nuremberg and subsequent trials established the principle of individual criminal responsibility. It meant that I was just following orders was no longer a valid excuse for committing atrocities. It codified concepts like war crimes and crimes against humanity into international law, making them punishable offenses for any individual, regardless of their rank or nationality. The legacy of Mamodi and Nuremberg echoes to this day. It laid the groundwork for the establishment of the International Criminal Court and the various international tribunals we've seen since, from Yugoslavia to Rwanda. It fundamentally shifted our understanding of justice, asserting that certain actions are so heinous they transcend national laws and demand a global response. So, the next time you hear about international law, remember the snowy field in Mamodi, where a terrible crime helped forge the very system designed to prevent it from ever happening again. Thanks for watching. If you found this piece of history as impactful as I did, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more deep dives into the stories that shaped our world. See you next time.